Hey everyone, welcome back to Hacky Lessons for another deck profile, and I have a bit of a different one today. I'm looking back at Red-Black Garp with OP05 meta cards in it. So the other week, my locals, we were bored, so we decided to do a no meta decks allowed tournament. And I chose to play Garp, which was my old favourite back in set 2. And I ended up going 3-1, only losing in the final, which was devastating because we put up a winner, green vanilla Lofi, up for the winner, so I really wanted it, and I made a few mistakes in the final. So you can actually watch me play and watch me stuff up on the Card Boys channel. They filmed it. I was pretty annoyed at my performance in that last game because I was playing so well for the rest of the day. My opponent was playing red vanilla, like red promo Uta. He just swapped his leader out from his Whitebeard deck, and I should have realised when he took all of his life, it's because he was playing it like Whitebeard, so he had a big massive hand. So there were several things I could have done better in that game, but nevertheless, the deck feels really strong these days, way better than it did back in OP02. I've been playing it on the sim and been doing really well. I've been playing it at regular locals and doing fine. It's probably not better than Sakazuki, but there are certain pieces that you'll find in the Sakazuki deck that make Garp way more viable. So let's take a look. So if you don't remember what the leader does, he every time you attach a Don, it will minus a cost on something that's 7 or less. So if you want to hit something that is 8 or more, you need to find another way to lower their cost down to 7 first. But otherwise, if you attach a 7 Don, you could minus a 7 cost down to 0. So that, negates your need to play too many cards to neg cost like Ice Age or whatever. So let's have a look at the deck, and we'll start with the obvious stuff, and that is of course 4 copies of Rob Lucci. So this card is one of the main reasons why Garp is good now. For 2 reasons. The obvious reason, obviously, it's very good removal. It hits 2 things. You play this in Garp, say they got 2 4 costs on board. You just need to attach 3 Don to your leader, so minus cost of one of them down to 2 and minus the other cost down to 1. I think I counted wrong, but you get what I mean. So you attach enough Don to minus 2 things down to a cost of 2 and 1, and then he can do his thing. But the other thing that makes him good is it makes it more viable to run cards of the Cypher Pole Persuasion. So 4 copies of Kaku, and he will hit a 3 cost or less just by bottom decking 2 cards from your trash that have the Cypher Pole trait. So that means he could bottom deck Lucci. So you don't have to run too much useless Cypher Pole shit like Wanze or whatever. So for this reason, so we got enough Cypher Pole going on. We got Cauliflower as a 2k counter. You can play her for the minus 2 cost if you really need to, but more often than not she's just a 2k counter. And then 4 copies of the blocker Fukuro, which gets a very nice alt art in the next set tournament pack, so that'll be good to update this with. So that's all Cypher Pole cards. No searchers. Obviously the Spando searcher only works if your leader is Cypher Pole, so that kind of sucks. So we've got a healthy navy section of the deck. Most of the deck is navy. So obviously you want your searchers, so start off with 4 copies of Brand New. And he's kind of good because he will trash the 2 things you don't pick, or all 3 if you don't find a navy, which makes it easier to get your trash filled with Cypher Pole stuff, or just stuff in general for Lucci, because Lucci doesn't matter what he's bottom decking. So that's great. 2k counters. We've already seen Cauliflower, but now we also have Suru. And, she's break in case of emergency if there's a 10 cost on board or whatever. Try to get their cost down lower. And then, of course, Garp. So, depending on the matchup, if he can stick on the board, play him turn 1 or turn 2. And then he's a removal threat there, because he will, when attacking, Don times 2 KO something with a cost of 0. And now 3 copies of Kobe, and only 3, because there's a lot of removal in this deck, and Kobe's probably the worst option because you have to trash a card as well. But he is a body on board and he's Navy searchable, so that's okay. But generally, Lucci and Kaku are much better. 3 copies of Onigumo, so he gains Banish if the opponent has a character with cost of 0 on board. More often than not, I don't bother playing him and I just use him as counterpower. But if I'm playing against a yellow deck, I'll probably focus my strategy around playing him, so he's good against yellow. And this is the biggest card in the deck, is 4 copies of Isho. So he's going to help you minus the cost of the big boys. And he also has the great effect of if your opponent has 6 or more cards in hand, they have to trash 2 at random. Yeah, in that final game, I was very annoyed. I wanted to play a Kobe, and I decided to trash the Isho that was in my hand. And then I never saw another Isho, which I really needed, because he had a massive hand. And obviously, against the Whitebeard built deck, you want to put him on board before they play their Whitebeard, so you can easily remove it straight away. So that was a very unfortunate case of luck. 4 copies of Meteor Volcano. Easy piece of removal, only costs 2. Hit something with 1 cost or less, and your leader easily gets most things down to 1 cost or less. And then for some counter event card, 4 copies of Shockwave. This is just 4k counter and it KOs a active mode, 3 cost or less. Or if you trigger it, it will hit a 4 or less, active or rest, doesn't matter. So that's nice. And then there's one more card to show in this deck, and this is just a little, I think it's really great for the deck, honestly, because it works perfectly. So, Chaka. So this is a set 5 Chaka, and he's the only red card in the deck. And you attach a Don to him, and then you can attach 2 rested Don to one of your leaders or one of your characters. So this is perfect for the deck. So by putting 1 Don on him, you're effectively minusing 3 cost of one of your opponent's characters. So you got the 1 Don attached to him, and then the other 2. You can even, like, say you're on your 6 Don turn, you play him for 5, attach your Don to him, attach 2 rested Don to your leader, and you got a 7 leader attack even though you've basically used all your Don that turn. So that's great. So that is the deck list. I find it a lot of fun. It's so much stronger than it used to be. It still will struggle a little bit against decks like NL, but so it's not like super meta relevant, but you can do pretty well with it, a lot well with it than you could back in the day, I'll say that at least. And it's a lot of fun. It's still one of my favorite decks, so check it out. A few more weeks of OP05 meta, and then we'll see how it goes in OP06 meta, if it needs any updating or if it's just not viable at all. I'm not sure, but we'll give that a crack because it's a good deck, good fun deck. Alright guys, stay tuned to the channel. Upcoming is my red purple Lofi deck profile, which I've been meaning to record for ages, but I'll finally do it now, so I'll see you then.